So, for today's episode, I think we have one question outstanding from yesterday, and that's whether we have to be sociable to be entrepreneurial or to be involved in business. So, that's going to be the question that I'm going to address right now. I'll have a look at the list of questions that we have, the questions that we've compiled so far, and that's after I'm done with this recording, and then I'll take the next one as a separate recording instead of trying to make two questions fit into one episode, because I've been able to do that successfully maybe two or three times since I started this 10-minute format. So to keep it low pressure, I'll just keep it to one question per episode for now. So today's question: do you have to be sociable to be an entrepreneur? um, well, that depends. uh, it depends on what you mean by being sociable. Depends on how you define sociable. Because some people think being sociable means being a social butterfly. The life of the party. You talk to anyone, to everyone. Everyone you meet becomes a friend. You're not enemies to everyone. And if that's the definition of being sociable, then no, you don't have to be that to be entrepreneurial or to sell successfully for that matter. Because remember, for those of us who are disciples of the gospel of sales, business activity, entrepreneurial activity has as its backbone the discipline of selling. Because no matter what it is that we do, there's an element of selling, there's an element of persuasion, because we're trying to get people to buy our products or services. We are trying to get people to become investors in our companies or in our brilliant ideas. And even if you work with a 9 to 5, let's say you work in Zenith Bank, or you work in IBTC Pensions Management or something, you're constantly trying to sell some initiative or some endeavor to your boss or to your underlings. Sorry, underlings is not the right word. To your associates. And so there's an amount of selling that is involved in everything that we do, business or corporate. So that's going to be the angle primarily which we look at all these questions over here on the podcast. We're looking at things from a business development perspective, from a sales and from a selling perspective. So if by sociable you mean social butterfly, then no, you don't have to do that to be an entrepreneur, because all you have to do is to look at the golden boys and golden girls, and you'll see that they all have different personalities, different temperaments. We all know Zuckerberg and his awkward, or what's that thing, that awkward schoolboy silence kind of thing. And then you have Elon Musk, who is much more, like the naughty school kid. And on the female side, we have people like Oprah Winfrey, for instance, who is engaging, but you get the sense that she likes her own space. Well, bottom line is, no matter the industry, no matter the culture, no matter the context, you see that we have business people, successful entrepreneurs. They come from all walks of life, so you don't have to be a social butterfly. So don't think that if you're introverted, you need to become outgoing. So there's room for everybody. That's what I'm trying to say. So you don't have to be a Cardi B or a Kardashian if you are a Oprah Winfrey, or if you are a let's see, who is also much more reserved. There's Oprah Winfrey, and who else? Okay, Queen Latifah is not really reserved. Okay, no, Queen Latifah, that's taking things too far back, because people who were born after the 80s and the late 70s might have no idea who that is. But anyway, there's room for everyone. So, social butterfly, no, you don't have to be a social butterfly to be an entrepreneur. Now, being sociable, there's another meaning that people lend to the word, and that is being willing to talk to other people. So, do you have to be at least willing to talk to other people despite what your temperament is? And the answer is yes. Now, this is why you can't hate people or not be willing to talk to people and in business. And so, this is the reason why. Because it's only when you're willing to talk to people that you're going to be able to figure out how your product or your service helps them. And until you figure out how your product or service helps them, you're not sure what the crux of your sales pitch is going to be. So you need to have a conversation first with a total stranger to figure out his or her circumstances. And that's when you're going to be able to say, my inverter panels are the best for you because XYZ. Or my custom Italian handbags are the best for you because ABC. Or for your agricultural business, instead of buying yams that come from Ilorin, you should buy these yams that I export from Cotonou because of XYZ. Or my cassava is the best for you because of 1, 2, 3. You can only make that pitch when you know for sure what it is that people want, what it is that they're interested in, and you have to at least be willing to talk to them in the first place to uncover what their needs are, or to uncover what their goal is, their mission is, what they're aiming for, and then you can tie that into how your product or your service can help. So, yes, you have to be willing to engage in conversations because that knowledge is going to determine how you sell your product or your service. If you're not willing to talk to people, yes, you can have some success, but eventually you'll find that you're just dealing with low hanging fruit. And low hanging fruit is not the best way to go about building a business, because think about this. If you end up being a millionaire because you are targeting low hanging fruit and only dealing with low hanging fruit, then imagine what happens when you actually extend yourself and try to learn how to sell, to challenge yourself, and then put in some extra work. That's the reason why some people say that when you engage in sales training, that you're able to double or triple your revenues within a year or two. That's because for most people, you've been doing what works. You don't realize that you're dealing with only low hanging fruit, and that there's a better way to do these sorts of things. So that's the answer to today's question. Essentially, do you have to be sociable to be an entrepreneur or to be successful in business? If by sociable it means being a social butterfly, then no, you don't have to be a social butterfly. Just look around you, whatever it is you're interested in. If you look at tech, you'll see that they're different. They're shy people, they're outgoing people, they're obnoxious people, they're quiet people. All the personalities are there. If you're interested in fashion, it's the same. You look at fashion, you see that they're outgoing people, they're shy people, they're introverted people, um, religious people, atheistic people. I mean, all shapes and sizes, all personalities are welcome. So you don't have to be a social butterfly. But one thing that they all have in common is that whether the person is an introverted, whether the person is an Oprah Winfrey or a Mark Zuckerberg, or okay, let's move to movies. David Spielberg is too old school. Well, I'm sorry, I don't know any of the uh, the younger folks who are in the movie business. But whether you're Mark Zuckerberg or you're Oprah Winfrey or Elon Musk, you have to at least be willing to talk to people to figure out what it is that they're interested in, how it is that it affects them. So it's an essential skill. We have to be willing to talk to other people to be successful, because talking to people is going to help us to figure out who they are, what they're after, what they're aiming for, and then we can tie that into what our product or service does and how it's going to help them. If you're seeking for investments for your business idea, it's the same thing. You have to be willing to chat to the potential investor first of all. Even if the person is your rich uncle or your rich auntie, you still have to have a conversation with uncle and auntie to figure out what's their risk appetite, what their investment portfolio looks like, what kind of opportunities are they willing to throw money after, what kind of returns are they looking for. And then after you have that information, you have a hard conversation with yourself and you say, okay, self, now that I know that this is what uncle is looking for, this is what auntie is looking for, does this opportunity match what it is that they're looking for? So you have to be willing to talk to other people. So thank you very much for your time and attention listening to today's episode. Remember that you can ask me anything on WhatsApp. Just shoot me a message and I'll get back to you. The really interesting questions will become part of the topics that we field over here on the show. So the number is 080 6466 2140. Again, the number on WhatsApp is 080 6466 2140, and the country code is +234. That's for Nigeria. The country code is +234. And yeah, I remember that I promised that last episode that I'll set up the Telegram. So I'm going to set up the Telegram right now after I put down my devices, and you guys will be able to hit me up on Telegram as well. That's for those of you who are also active on Telegram. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next recording where we'll tackle the next question.